Oh, you can't hear it? uh, Welcome to Amon Green Gamers Lounge. I'm your host, Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher and avid gamer. So this is your fun stop during midweek to get updated on the latest news, hottest video game releases, and some of the in-depth discussion with some industry fellows like ourselves here. So myself, but my good friend here, John Audius. Whether it's casual gamer, or if you're a casual gamer or a hardcore gamer, or even a big time esports fan, Amon Green's Gamers Lounge is the place for you. So something for everyone. So grab your controller, settle in if you're couch co-oping right now, and join us as we dive into this dynamic world of gaming here. And so got to check in with my boy John because it's been a couple weeks. You've been on the fly, literally all over the Midwest, covering your Wisconsin Badger football, volleyball. Was it no volleyball mostly, right? So I know that's been fun because you've been able to also kind of get into to watch football too a little bit. You know, you got into the stadium.
It's been busy, Amon. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got into. I was in your neck of the woods in Lincoln. I got to for my first time to go to the Husker Stadium Memorial Coliseum, right?
Yep.
Wait, right? Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And that was awesome. Just checking that out and just kind of getting the vibe of a Nebraska game day. 403 consecutive sellouts at Nebraska. That's
It's
so
crazy.
uh,
It's
unbreakable.
crazy.
Like
Crazy.
I don't even know how that's gonna ever be topped, but that's amazing. And then the Amon,
And you thought Packer fans were crazy or Badger fans were crazy. All right.
yeah, right. I mean, you just follow like the craziest fan bases in football. Like the your career has just been with the most rabid, fan bases that just care so much about their teams. It's crazy.
Right. I don't know how it got there, but it happened. I'll take it. You know,
And
it's
then
fun.
Amon, the thing I'm into,
What's up? Uh-oh. What you doing, John?
I feel like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity with Bitcoin right in front of us, man.
Oh, that's right. You did start that years ago. What's so where you at? What's up?
I feel like we're on the precipice of its next big move.
What
I
happened?
feel like
What's
in the
going on? What
next
happened? I
I,
missed something.
I feel like in the next 8 years, if you listen, if you talk, set a reminder on your phone for 8 years from now and come back to this podcast,
Okay.
and I just feel maybe I'm being sold a bill of goods. I feel like it's now or never. Actually, I do think there's going to be another time to get in, but I think this
Okay.
is your second to last time to get in right now.
Interesting. You mean like get in to have some dividends come back
Yeah,
that will be
to have
big.
some significant returns. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I haven't
Otherwise,
messed around with it.
yeah,
You have been toying around in it, right?
I've been messing around with it. Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
messing around with it for a couple of years, but not to the extent that like I feel I should. I don't know. That's been consuming me, Ahmad. It's just been
Got you.
consuming me. I feel like in the next couple of months, this thing's gonna explode.
Yeah, I've been. You know what? I did get an app. It was crypto app. I downloaded it from the Apple Store, and I only put like $100 in there last year, and actually it's doubled. So it's like almost $300 now.
Yeah,
And I just slightly, I let it do itself. I just put it in there,
walk away.
like, and walk away. And
Yep,
when I went in there like a month ago, and it said 291, I was like, oh, it's it's working.
free money.
Free money. What's up, OG John 67 in the chat, man? How you doing? He jumped in with us a couple weeks ago, John.
Oh,
I've
what's
been
up?
streaming on Kick too. I don't know if I told you, Enrico,
Yeah,
that, but I'm streaming on Kick now. Um, been gaming mostly on there with Black Ops 6, Call of Duty. Played a little bit of Madden on there too as well, but mostly Call of Duty. So that's been a different experience because it's obviously a new studio, kind of like what we're doing now, right? New studio, checking things out, working just to see how this, kicking the tires, right? Going under the hood, seeing if it all works out. For some of the shows, it does work, but obviously, with the, I know background stuff, like I just noticed today, because I don't usually do it all the time, but now you don't have the graphic that's usually there for you, so that might be something like, you know what? And you know me, I'm real easy to work. If we got to go back to StreamYard, we'll go back to StreamYard. So we're in this Riverside studio. I think it's, I gotta try it out. It's something I do where I do my one podcast with Green and Gold G Lounge that I do with Dorsey and Gilbert. So we've been doing it out of here. So that one we don't have. It's really no backgrounds there, so we could stay there with that. But
yeah.
you let me know. When
Okay.
you know gets to see it and go over like, you know what, I want to go back to StreamYard. You know what, I'll
During
be
my
like,
day job, Amon, I don't have virtual backgrounds on when I meet with people online. So like
yeah.
I'm used to a green background by now. Like it
Oh,
just
okay.
looks normal to me.
Gotcha.
People
Gotcha.
are like, "Oh, you got a green screen." I'm like, "Yep."
Yep. 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 I got mine. It's finally unpacked it, so we're getting things up. I know my room looks crazy, but it's gonna get pimped out eventually. Get
I
all the
should mention
boxes, the Legos,
I don't have a green screen. I have a green
a
piece of
sheet.
a sheet that I bought
Yeah.
at Joann's or something.
That works too, bro. That works too. So I know you were traveling. I didn't do much. I just watched. You were at the game. The Huskers beat the Badgers in a game that I say I wasn't surprised, but I was like, finally, these guys getting over the hump. And you guys are also having a tough season. Fickle still working in his run and gun offense. It's not built for. It's kind of like a team that we had, a coach we had when we first years ago when I left,
Hmm.
where he brought in like a pass game offense.
Yep.
When it's like Nebraska, like at that time, we were definitely not pass game offense. We were run the ball, first down, second down, third down, and occasionally fourth down.
Yeah.
And so I know that's not Wisconsin's makeup. They
Right.
like to run the ball. They got tight ends that's going to block and do short pass routes and get the ball there in their way. And then the running backs and the offensive line just do their job, and the defense holds fast. And so with Fickle in there, I've been noticing, yeah, they're struggling a little bit. So
Yeah. They
yeah,
have been. They
yes,
actually got rid of their offensive coordinator a couple
that
weeks ago.
God, that's
So
been a common thing. That's what happened in Nebraska 2 weeks ago. So
okay.
they didn't fire him. He just stepped down and he went over to tight ends, Satterfield,
Oh,
and
okay.
then he went to and so then they brought in a guy by the name of Dana Holgerson, who coached at Baylor for a few years and then Houston last year, and now he's here in Nebraska. So I interviewed him last year. I covered his game when he was at Houston, Baylor. They played Baylor, and I think they won. And he was an interesting guy. Like when you do the pregame interview with the coaches
Yeah.
and the staff, and it was him and his offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator came in, and by the time he came in there, you could tell he was like two sheets. Like well, he wasn't sheets to the wind. He just like you could tell he was wore out. And
Oh,
he's
okay.
like he just wanted to get this conversation done.
Yeah.
He had his hat like cake capped to the side, and this is the head coach. Yeah, he just sitting there like, "What's up, y'all? Like, what y'all? Yeah, like that." And he's like, "Hey, let's get what's up? Just ask me a few questions. We rode up from from Baylor, blah blah blah, blah or from Houston. We got here this afternoon. We just spat in the. I was like, man, this is a chill dude, but he knows his stuff, and so hopefully he can help the Nebraska offense get going again. And I think it's part of his attitude too. Is kind of like he's gonna hold those guys accountable so far. So
Mhm.
so yeah, that's it. That's been my weekend, man. So hey, man, we got a fantastic guest coming here today. A young man that is, I say, when you see him do his job, he does what we do. John, he commentates. So in our world of video games, Shoutcast, he does a fantastic job, and he is on it. Has a one of those. He has that voice that you don't when you hear it, then you won't forget it. Almost
Yeah.
like James Earl Jones. You hear that voice, you're like, oh, I know I'm watching some. He's a fighting game commentator. He does a fantastic job. He works with Tampa Never Sleeps. For anybody that doesn't know that is a FGC community worldwide. Where if you watch him on Twitch, you watch it on YouTube. They got Tekken. They're doing Street Fighter, maybe a little Guilty Gear, but fighting games is their mo. And so I'm gonna bring in my man who I met just this summer at the Rewired event in Arkansas at the Facebook event that I told you about, or I'm sorry, Walmart event. Excuse me when I say that. So I'm gonna bring my man Tento in from backstage here. So Tento, man, how you doing?
Yo, what's going
What's
on, y'all?
see?
There's
There
the
you go. You
voice.
hear that
There's the
voice?
voice. There's the
You hear that
voice.
voice? That's that voice you'll never forget. It's like boom. Okay, I'm watching Tento. He's probably talking about Street Fighter or Tekken or anything of that matter. So man, Tento, welcome to the show, Mongreen
Appreciate
Gamer
you having me
Time.
on, man. Really do. What's going on, John? What's going on, Amon?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, get you here, man. I know you've been doing your job for a little bit of time, but just give us a little background on you, like when you got started with casting, with shout casting, but then when did it fall into Tampa Never Sleeps, and then what are some of the early things that you say, are getting yourself into to stay on top of your game?
All right. Well, how you guys doing? My name is Tinto. I'm from Chicago, born and raised here. I'm still in Chicago as this time being.
Nice.
I got into commentary. It was actually funny. So, when I was in high school, I did morning announcements. That's where it all started. So people told me I had a good voice, so I did morning announcements in high school, and then I also commentated a couple football games, funny enough, and a couple track meets while I was at my school, Proviso West High School.
Okay.
Kyle Prater had went there from the
Oh,
Saints, if you guys remember.
yeah. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, Kyle Prater. And also Robert Covington of the, I believe he's on the 76ers now for the NBA. He also went there.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Gotcha.
So I did that a couple times, and then I went to fighting games and whatnot. I fell in love with Street Fighter 4, and I saw that there's like fighting game tournaments every weekend. I was like, yo, this is crazy. So eventually, I just started watching every single one of them. And then when I turned 18, I could finally drive. I found out that there was one about 40 minutes away from me in Chicago in St. Charles, Illinois, called Combo Breaker. I went there in 2017, shortly after I graduated high school, met some of my favorite players and whatnot, and I was like, man, this is crazy. I competed a little bit, but I was like, I don't care. I know I'm decent at a fighting game. I'm like, okay, I know I could beat someone. I want to explain to people why people are getting beat on the screen. That's my whole thing about it.
Right.
So when Injustice 2 came around for I switched over a little bit to Mortal Kombat slash Interest side of things. I began to commentate over there in my local events back in 2018, in 2019. And then once that had got started for me, 2020, I got my first gig at an offline event here also in Chicago called Frosty Faustings. Then unfortunately,
Great name, by the way.
yeah, it was a great name. Then unfortunately, COVID had hit, as you guys know. We went to quarantine, so I literally got my first gig, and then we went to shutdown. I was like, well, what happens now? Luckily, I was saved during the online events. We did a lot of online events to one of my old friends. His name is Slayer. I commented on his channel all the time, and I got noticed through there. And then I led me to get when quarantine slightly started to release at the end of 2021. I went to an event called CEO in Florida, where I got that was a very big event because it was the first offline from a very long time us being indoors. And that's kind of where I really got my domino effect with me kind of blowing up because people was like, oh, okay, he really does commentate. He takes it serious.
Yeah.
So after that in 2022, did events throughout in Tennessee and Texas and whatnot. And in 2023, as we fast forward, I had got the opportunity. Warner Brothers / NetherRealm Studios, the creators of Mortal Kombat, they did a pro tour for the new Mortal Kombat game, Mortal Kombat 1. And they say, hey, we would love to have you on in Connecticut for an event called East Coast Throwdown. I did my thing over there after so pretty much in the span of me taking it serious in 2020 to 2023 at the end, it was in October. I did my thing. I shook hands with some of the community managers of WB, and they was like, hey, we like you a lot, and we want you to continue on the pro tour. So then 2024 came, and they ended up really pushing me on for the online events and then some of the other offline events, which then led me to going out the country for the first time in my life. And I went to Toronto because they wanted me to host the finale for the event. And that was my first hosting gig that I did in June. So it was a huge step for me from going from behind the desk to on talent, on stage, announcing players and whatnot. So it was definitely a change, but it was a change that I did like to do. And ever since then, it's just been a great time. And then if we backtrack a little bit more, in 2024, this was when I got sponsored by Tampa Never Sleeps. Big shouts to Tong and the crew. It was right before my birthday in March. He had a couple days in that February. He said, I want you to be on the team. So I got sponsored through them. And through them, he believes that I'm a commentator that he wants to invest in, where he takes me to events that that their team is being represented for, so I can help with commentary. So I've done events in Vegas that's called Love Up Expo. I met you at Rewire Fest, and plenty of other events that I've been traveling around for to help with my team. So Tampa Never Sleeps has pretty much helped me to get to places where he feels that my talents need to be shown more around because he believes in the vision that I have. So then we lead to now where I'm just basically in the off season. I had my last event I just did was actually in Cali for Capcom for Street Fighter. They bring me out there so I can do a War Warrior event to recap what has been going on, like a kind of a sports center type of thing where we recap all the things that happened in the War Warrior events for the weekend. I think we did Europe, Canada, US West, and then I think a place, and then one more place, South America. We did South America. So yeah,
nice.
so I did that for the time being. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of how I got to the point I am.
Awesomeness, man. Great stuff there, John. You got something for him?
No, I just think that's amazing. I thought when you talked about when someone commented first on your voice, and you kind of did that. You mentioned that. Did that kind of jumpstart your idea that, hey, maybe I should be doing something with commentary?
Yeah, it was. I knew I had a good voice. 'Cause my voice actually like dropped like this when I like immediately in eighth grade, and everybody was like, "Yo, what happened to you?" When they was like, "There's no way your voice just changed like this." Like from seventh grade to eighth grade, it was a huge jump. And I was like,
Right.
maybe I can do something with my voice in the future with this. And then high school people was like, you need to be in radio. You need to be radio. You need to be in radio. You need to be doing something with your voice. You need to make money off of that. And I was like, you're right. That's what led me to do morning announcements in my high school and that build. Like I have really bad social anxiety. Like people don't
We
understand
all
I still have bad social anxiety. People don't understand that either.
Okay.
But that was me pushing myself in high school. Like, hey, they don't know how you look like. They just hear your voice in the morning. And for the longest time, and it was funny, it's oxymoron, but I was the most known unknown person in high school. Everyone knew how I sounded like, but no one knew how I looked. They didn't know who I was. They just
Right.
heard me every morning until I would be walking in the hallway and I'll talk to one of my friends and they'll be like, "Well, yo, you the dude that do announcements in the morning." Like they'll help me with that. But like,
Right.
but yeah, it was really like getting past my social like anxiety shell that I need to do in high school that then broke past me to doing everything else.
That's hilarious. So you were kind of like for lack of a better term, like a mini celebrity in high school when people
It's like,
finally
yeah.
like heard your voice, like, oh, I know who you are.
Yes,
I, you know,
happened so
I,
many times.
I relate to that because actually, when I was in high school, it must have been my junior year. I want to think, we went on like a class trip to the radio station, and the radio station there asked, "Does anybody want to do this like little short read?" And nobody wanted to do it, and I said, "I'll do it." And so I did that little read, and the very first thing I've had a radio career for several years. I'm still within radio, and one of the things that I remember most is people commenting saying, "Hey, you sound pretty good on the radio." I'm like, I did. Like I don't want to listen back to the sound of my
No,
voice.
I hate the sound of the voice.
Hey, we're all in agreement.
And
on
I had to
that.
make a commentary reel like for next year, so I got to go through everything I've done. It's like from We Riot Fest, from freaking Las Vegas and level up. I had to go through all that and listen to my voice again and find clips and do that. So yeah, everyone, we
Yes.
don't like listen to our own
Yeah,
voices
I
again.
was like that too, but I heard people comment and say, "Hey, you sound good." So that's what kind of led me to my career too. Is just people like saying, "Hey, that sounds pretty good. You got to do something like that." And so I totally understand that how you first
Same
got
here.
how you first got started there, man. That makes total
Yeah.
sense to me. But yeah,
Yeah, it
and
was-
by the way, it gets a lot easier. Like I don't mind it so much nowadays.
Oh yeah, definitely so. Yeah, like that was like it's crazy to think because I'm 25 now, so it's like, well, I've been doing the high school stuff. Like I got onto the team freshman year and I did it all the way to my senior year. So then that was 4 years. It's like that. Think about it. Now like, yeah, it's actually been 10 years now. Think about it.
Wow.
If you're really being honest, like that's it
Wow.
really has been 10 years when I
15,
really
right.
think. Yeah, so like
awesome.
it really has been 10 years. So now it is much easier to go with. And I also tell people like they be like, "Oh my God, your voice." I'm like, the more you talk to me, the more you won't even notice it. Like
Yeah.
that's the big thing. John. Like as time progresses, they be like, "Oh yeah, you won't even notice my voice." But then you'll know when you're around new people. Like, "Oh, that's how you sound." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're new. I'm sorry."
Right. And so, got a question for you. Usually, my first lead-off question, and so get back to it. So, what is? Because you were trying to talk about it before you went live. What is your gaming origin story? Because I know you mentioned your dad and his games. We were talking about.
Oh yeah.
What we're going to be talking about here in a little bit with John's quick hitting news bite. So, what is your gaming origin story? So, what game was it? How old were you? And who was that person that got you to sit down with a controller or mouse and keyboard in your hand?
Okay. Well, no, I'm still in the era of like, mouse and keyboard wasn't a big thing quite of yet,
Yeah.
because my age, I was in that aspect of like
Hey,
right
same
there
here.
between like waiting in the line at GameStop for the game to come out
Yeah.
and just getting it via your console immediately from buying it. I'm right in between that era. So I saw the transition from that happening.
Yeah.
It was actually my cousin, my oldest cousin, his name is Fred. He was a single child, so but he was in charge of babysitting me and my sister, my cousins all the time. So like he was like our big brother. So he really wasn't. He didn't actually feel like he was a single child, but he had every game console known to mankind in his house because he was the only child. So he had the Atari, he had the GameCube, he had the 360, he had the PS3, he had the PS2, he had the 64. He had every console. He would not
man.
let me play at all. He hated me playing. Like he would not let me play at all. So I would have to watch him. This actually, what I think about in hindsight, I was like, that's what led me to commentary. Because what would
Correct.
happen was we'll play, like for example, I say we'll play Kingdom Hearts because this is when he started to let me play. So Kingdom Hearts is actually kind of my origin story. It was with my
Okay.
cousin Fred.
Got it.
I will watch him play, but he will not let me play. But the thing was, I will be sitting there watching him the entire time where he will forget something. And I was him like, he was like, what does this key go to? I'm like, it goes into the Atlantis world like a while back. You didn't listen to him? And he realized I'm the memory bank that's been watching the entire time, keeping track of everything while he's doing the quest. So then it led to him actually let me play a little bit. And then also like me explaining like strategies of what to do. And I thought to myself, I'm like, wait a second. That's kind of like that started me commentary because like I already know what I would do in those situations. But
Right.
seeing him go through it and then going from my point of view to for him to try to do his thing was actually really funny. So I would say Kingdom Hearts is my starter game. And with my cousin Fred was the one who led me to doing stuff like that for real.
That's so funny. That's so awesome
That's
because
awesome.
once again, I'm just gonna say like from my perspective, calling sporting events, I would call you like basketball. What's the NBA Live? Like NBA Live. I would
Oh,
call it
NBA Live?
but
I'll
that's
listen to
totally-
NBA Live, man.
Yeah, that
I
was a good
totally
one.
get what you're saying there is that you were there, like you were getting practice without even knowing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just picking up on my craft that's on the sideline was just like I said, like I always know, like you always know your mindset of how you want to do something. I love trying to that's why like also like a big thing for me is like also getting to know the players as well. Like I like to talk to them, have genuine friendship with them, so that I better understand their mind. So when I'm commentating, they're like, why would they do that decision? I'm trying to explain to them why they did that decision because I know them. And I'm trying to get that perspective in because I have seen what they do. I watch them on an occasional basis. And that's why I also translate it over. So yeah.
100%. You gotta be very observant as a caster because you gotta then, once you observe it, then you gotta regurgitate it out in words. You know,
Yes.
when you see the attack, the combo, whatever, and then when you have those moments where it's a blowout, right? And then you just have that side. Cause we kind of did that when we did the stream.
A second.
Yeah. A few months ago, and it's like you got to have that. You got to have inventory of stuff to talk about.
Yes.
you got to keep yourself. I say keep yourself, but also keep the guests watching engaged. So then especially with what we do, it's a stream, it's a chat, and the chat are talking. So you making sure you're picking out little anecdotes from the chat. If they say something funny or interesting, you gotta hey so and so I'll say Johnny Four says something, boom 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 boom. You gotta be able to be savvy enough to throw that into your commentary along with your co-host if you have a co-host. So that's all the fun stuff that we all go through here, commentating
Yes.
together. So next question I got for you. I mentioned the games from Tekken 8, Street Fighter, Guilty Gear, a few others. So how, from all those games you commentated, how do you adapt your casting style to fit the unique characters that is in each of the games?
It's really interesting because it's like everyone has a different system, but at the end of the day, all fighting games have the same sense of whoever health bar goes down first loses. So
Correct.
when it comes to different styles, it's just reminded of I usually just think of like this. I make the appropriate jokes about the community when it comes to certain things. One of my biggest commentary styles I say is I'll take a meme to go with the situation to adjust to the certain things. So for example, you guys all know the Hawk Tuah girl.
Yeah. Yes.
If
yes.
if Yoshi does his miss move, I say Hawk 2.
Gotcha.
That way the best way to appeal to the viewer is to make sure you put in a relatable experience with the gameplay. My goal is if I see a person that has never played a fighting game watching me commentate, I want them to walk away to say, hey, I understand what slightly what's going on. So my biggest thing is like when it comes to going to different community, I know I kind of speak to actually the same is in like all you guys look at memes. I know you guys look at memes. I know you guys look at funny stuff on the internet. Let me use that to relate to the things that's going on because, you guys might not know everything that's going on amongst all these different games, but you guys do know the funny material that you guys see online. So I try to use that to connect with it. I had that mindset of like, speak of it as a beginner and then build upon that as you commentate. That's what thing. They'll take note of it, like things like that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice little talent right there, and obviously brings in that like a nice narrative where you got little I say comedy relief going on, and obviously you catch the ears of the people listening in if they're all if they're watching it online in person too, if they hear it in above the crowd, they got that they're like, oh man, this guy's okay, I get it, he's clever. I try to be clever. I can't do that.
All it takes time. No.
Yeah, I know.
You covered it. You had some great moments when we did Tekken. We're gonna have even more great
Yeah.
moments when we do it in the future.
Yeah, for sure. All right, next question for me here. So what does that preparation look like? Process from when you find out, okay, I got this event coming up in 2 weeks, a month, whatever, and before the casting, before that event, what is your prep for that time?
Just like how y'all watch tapes when you studying for your next team, or you
Okay.
it's simple like that. Like I'll like my day-to-day basis is like I'll be working out and I'm watching a stream while working out. I listen to a stream while working out for a fighting game for a top player or another event that's happened in Japan because hey, one of the big things is different regions play very differently. So when different regions go against each other, it's really interesting to see their play styles amongst each other as well. So like that's another thing where I'm just like, okay, I'll watch a Japan local that happens, and then I'll watch a European local, and then I'll watch like a Central America slash South America local when I can, while doing day to day cleaning my room, working out, taking a walk if I can for the time being, and leading up to the events. I use as if so like as you know, like I said, they have a pro tour and things like that that happen. So they have like it's like playoffs. You got seasons rankings that you take for each of the events you've done. I'll look at the last event for people who went over that, and then also especially if it's a match that's pivotal where one guy's a 16 spot, another guy's a 12 spot, and they need to and they fought in the event before. I'm like,
Right.
what did they? And I know they're gonna fight in the next event. I'll look heavily at that match because it's one of the projected matches that are going to happen,
Yeah.
and see the things that went wrong for the winner and the loser. I'm like, what is he going to do to adjust in that next time that they possibly will meet? So it's things like that. So it's pretty much like how you, like I said, you watch the tapes after a victory or a loss in the rooms for football. Exactly how I'm doing. I'm watching the tapes for past events that happen, or thinking of future scenarios, or I even just play the game myself and put myself in that position and lab it to see like, okay, what could be the possible mindset to change that on.
I think
Nice.
it's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
interesting that you talked about the different play styles for different regions. It's
Yeah.
almost like, I don't know, like European basketball players compared to basketball players in the United States.
It's exactly the same.
Is it?
I'm not even kidding. It is like I ain't go like over in America, there'll be some people that do not want to share tech and they be stingy. In Europe, they're playing team ball, sharing amongst each other what's going on and how to play probably as a team.
Ah.
Over here, they're like, no, I want to hide this tech. I want to keep this to the side. I want to
I'm
keep
a-
it for me.
I'm gonna close my.
I want
mouth.
to keep it hush. But like in Europe, like they're talking amongst each other. Like, okay, we can figure this out together. Like that's why I say like, I don't want to go too much to tangent. In the U.S., I feel like right now for most of our fighting games, we have some of the strongest players in the world, but the world has the better communities, if that makes sense. Together, they are strong,
believe
but we
that.
have individuals who are very powerful here and some of the best players in the world here, but they have the better community because they actively work together. Where most of our guys be like, nah, y'all gonna have to figure that on your own. I'm gonna figure it. I'll have it for myself though. Like that's I feel like is our problem when it comes to fighting games out here.
Interesting, because I've seen that going on. Obviously, where I was in years ago in the football space is like that
Yeah,
sometimes.
it's the
And
exact
that's
same thing. It's the mentality of
Wow.
America.
Interesting.
It truthfully is.
That is an American thing. I definitely, because I definitely see that. John, you got another question or?
No, we can move on.
Okay, yeah. Well, I got a couple. So with that, on that note, so how has the fighting game community influenced your casting style, and your career growth so far?
It's really looking at different regions, I would say, because like it puts things in perspective. Like for example, the War Warrior event I told you for Street Fighter. Let's
That
go into that.
you just did, right?
So yeah, the War Warrior is something they implemented 3 years ago. So the biggest thing is that one thing I kind of I don't like using the word, but I hated that what Americans did is that we had most of the events held in the U.S. A lot of other regions had to scrap for like legit thousands of dollars to get one opportunity to come out here and show off their stuff. And it was really frustrating for them because they never got like legit 75% of the like the pro tour, like the playoff spots were in America and not in other regions. So what War Warrior did is decided like, hey, everyone can play from home according to your regions. So you got more spots to possibly get into the playoffs at the end of the season. So that at this point in time, we have people that's already qualified. We got so we have one person that can qualify for Central America, one person that can compete from the Philippines, from Taiwan, from Japan. We have at least one representative from each country now because of the War Warrior format, because you can play from your home alongside of, they kind of dwindled down the amount of offlines that you can go to for regions wise. So like there's still, the bulk of them are still in America,
Right.
but there's more spread out through the online spots as well. And my biggest thing with that was it was like it really put in perspective to me is like people in America don't understand how blessed they are to be here to play at these regions events because like that's across from most fighting games where a lot of the tournaments that you can qualify for are still in the U.S. It's
Right.
still like I say it was like 75, 80 in the past. Right now it's about like 60 to about 50, but it's still like most of them are still in the U.S. So you can still
Gotcha.
qualify here, and people be complaining, "Oh, I gotta go to freaking Texas for the event." That's bro, that's five. All right, max. Let's go over this price real quick. If you buy the ticket early for your plane, that's $300. If you buy a room and you can room with people, that's about $400. Miscellaneous activity and that involves you hanging around the city, that's for $1,000 pretty much you need for you to go to an event. Compared to a person that is in Europe who needs to buy a 2,000 ticket to come over here, and then
Ticket, right?
just a ticket, and then the transportation, and then sometimes like if it's in Texas, you got to fly to you got to get the time off too. You got to fly to New York and then refuel and then go to Texas
Yeah.
to get over here and then pay for your hotel. The time that takes that they got to deal with jet lag because of the time difference as well.
Facts. Facts.
And especially for the Japanese players that come over here too, it's like people don't understand how blessed they are in that regard. So in that, I'm very grateful that I get met other reasons. I have friends now in Australia and Germany and China because of this, and they really put it in perspective. Like you need to be really grateful for the opportunities that you get because not many people can even be in a position to see what you see. That's my biggest thing for that one.
Hey, I hear you. You said that with the chest too.
Yes, like, I strongly believe people need to be more grateful for what they got and the opportunities they have in
Definitely.
front of them.
Definitely, definitely. Yep. So on that note as well, we'll go into. So, what is your role? Do you think your role as a shoutcaster when you're playing and or when you're commentating in promoting and growing the FGC community in the space?
Okay, well, not to be too sentimental here, but like this place really like literally saved my life because I was in a dark place when I was in like high school or whatnot before I got into the FGC. So this is more like a love letter that I do because this place like saved me so much that I want to give back by commentating. I'm grateful that I'm now in a paid position and I'm somewhat actually making a career off of this now
Right.
because of
Right.
it. But yeah, my biggest thing is like I just really want to give back as much as I can with my voice to let people learn that fighting games are something great and that you should be able to like be like it could be for any skill level. You don't have to compete all the time. I know people that just come out there just to chill and enjoy the vibe and like, yeah, this is great. Like my barber came, my cousin came for the first time at Evo in Vegas. He was like, I'm coming every year now. He's like, I
Right.
did not know it was like this. My barber's like I told you, Combo Breaker happens over every year, Memorial Day weekend here in Schaumburg. He says, I did not know you had this whole world in our backyard. And this
Exactly.
is ridiculous. And he was just taking it in. He said, this is actually like y'all so inclusive. No one feels shunned. It's just y'all playing games and just having a good time. So my biggest thing is like I just want to give back
I love
in
that.
the best way I can to show people like enjoy what you want to do what you love because it can actually work out just like it worked out for me.
Beautiful, man. That's the same way I'm in this space, coaching it and casting it when I can for those same type of goals, same type of reasons. So it makes sense. Makes a lot of sense for that. So here we got a few more questions. We'll wrap this up here. So what are some of your goals in the next few years, next few months coming up for you? Because you, like you say, you're in the off season, so you got some time off a little bit to kind of like go to your game plan and what those goals are. So what is that coming up for you as a shoutcaster?
Well, one, I want to build up myself a bit more. I did get the chance for Warner Brothers. They asked me to do a voiceover for one of their ads. I do want to go into the voiceover fields. I want to go into. I would love to voice act. My always one of my biggest dreams was to be a bad guy at Disney movies. That's one of my biggest things I would love to do.
It's
So
coming. It's coming.
yeah, so voice acting and voiceover, like it's one of my things where it's like I want to kind of, I still want to commentate, but I want to segue into doing voiceovers and voice acting if I can too. They like, so what have you done? I'm just like, all the events that's on YouTube. I just like
Here you go. Check it
there,
out.
like like,
Yeah.
and then like I do like, and also because like we do ads in between because we got like like Evo and Combo Breaker, they're sponsored by Chipotle, which is huge, like so
Yep.
I do advertisements for that, and then ads in between for all those things and whatnot. So my big thing for these couple of years, I want to build up my resume for like my audiobooks and promote me that I can do audiobooks and I can do voice acting, and voiceover, and hopefully I get an opportunity to do that like full time, but also still commentating as well. I really want to go into voiceovers if I can.
Awesome. Awesome. You will.
Really
You will.
specific.
Yeah.
You said you wanted to be a Disney bad guy.
Yeah, I want to be a
Wh-
business
how
guy.
did, why did you?
Oh, I
why
love
did your
that
brain
one.
go to that?
I love that
It,
comment
it
right
was
there.
it was one of those things where like when like I like to kind of mess with my like younger nieces, nephews, and the kids that be around in my family. So
Yeah.
like I'll be just be chilling and whatnot, and they're like his voice deep. I'm like fee, fi, fo. I'll just start stumping around. They all just screaming, yell, but we all having a good time.
All right.
And it's just like one of those things where it's just like I do like bringing joy to children because I work with children quite a bit when I used to work at a pool and whatnot. So like it's one of those things where I do like helping out kids as possible. And the thing about it, people like, well, you're playing a villain. How's that helping kids? Villains also really do come with lessons a lot of time.
Yes,
I
they
learned some
do.
of my greatest lesson. Like I don't know if you guys remember the movie Bugs Life.
Yes.
That's my
Yes.
favorite
Yes. I
Pixar
remember.
villain ever. Hopper understood what the ants were capable of, which is
Yep.
why he did what he did. He was the first villain where I realized he's like, I'm fully cognitive that these guys can take us out. We need to make them realize that they can't work together. Because the
Yes.
moment they do, we are done. That's a big lesson that I learned through the villain, through that. And that's why I feel like people feel like villains are no. They come with important lessons. And I like to get those lessons. So yeah.
Hey, I say that about every horror movie villain out there. I say if you pay attention to watching Friday the 13th or Freddy Krueger or Michael Myers, if you really pay attention to what's going on to the people that are becoming the victims and where you work on to not be the victim, then you be like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to trip and fall. I'm not going to run downstairs into the basement. I'm going to run out the
Exactly.
front door or the back door where it's as clear as front, and I'm going to not fall. I'm going to make sure my leg, I work out. I ain't tripping and falling over no grass or over my feet. So I definitely relate to that part right there. That is something I've always people tease me. Oh my, man, you just watching some dumb horror movie. I said, no, man, this it's some
No.
practicalities in this.
It's literally, I'll be telling like there's a reason like perspective is literally tattooed on me. Perspective is
Boom.
my favorite word. People don't ever look at the other side of the box. People don't understand. If I draw a six in between us right now, from my point of view, it's a six, but from your point of view, it's a nine. People
Right.
don't ever look at another perspective, and they fail to see that amongst so many people. So I'm like, that's why I'm so big on it. So yeah.
Gotcha. All right, man. Last question, and you kind of already touched on it a little bit in this question here. It says, so are there any dream events, so events or collaborations, that you would like to be a part of? You know, by from now to the end of your career.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, if I can get in touch with Disney
Yeah,
Studios and like
Disney,
anything
right?
like that to do
Yep.
that. I still have not commentated at Evo. I pretty much commentated every big fighting game tournament.
Okay.
Evo is like legit my last tournament I haven't done yet. If I
Check
can get
that
like
out.
a solid spot in a commercial and they like me for voiceover too, like I would love that too as well. Like anything in that regard, like I really just want to use my
Right.
voice to give back if I can. And then if I can make, of course, making money is always very convenient in this economy and what was going on. So if I can get that as well, that would be very much appreciated too. So really, yeah, it's just
Gotcha.
work with Evo, work in Disney, and then use my voice for voiceovers if possible.
Ooh, nice. That's awesome. John, you got anything before we get to the next segment?
Let's go to the next segment.
All right, here we go. So we got quick hitting news bites. I got that the fact that y'all won't hear this, but I will. Oh man. So of course I'm not hearing it. This thing acting all weird. See, you're gonna get some points against Riverside in here. But
We
all
can make
right,
our
let's get.
own little intro, that quick
I
hit
know,
news bites.
I know. Just get it going, John. You're up first, buddy. Here you go.
Okay, this is from Forbes, and the headline is Publishers have finally said the quiet part out loud about retro games. So basically, there's been a recent legal case regarding the archiving of video games, and it concluded with a ruling against making gaming history broadly accessible. So a lot of people are pretty disappointed in this. The ruling is viewed as a significant cultural setback with potential negative effects on future game development.
Hmm.
Comparisons being drawn to the inability to access classic literature. You know, just the same thing. Like you can't access classic games now.
Right.
Basically, game publishers have said, "Hey, we're concerned about retro games. If they're freely accessible, they could be used, and then nobody wants to buy as much of the newer stuff." So, so basically, this is they're basically saying like we have to put these retro games behind some sort of paywall.
No.
Like you can't access them like you could any, you
Okay.
know, like I said, literature or something like that.
Hmm.
So basically, to kind of summarize this, I guess the gaming community kind of views this as the publisher stance is blatantly greedy.
Yeah.
And just saying like, hey, we gotta put this stuff in. You know,
You got something to throw in there, Tinto?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like games don't hit like it back in the old days. I'm gonna keep it a buck. It just don't. It just really don't. And like publishers are starting to realize that, which is why they trying to like, okay, I want to put like this paywall slightly on the older games so they can make sure they get that payment off it instead of being cheaper. Like I don't want to say Nintendo's going a good way about it in my opinion, where they had said, okay, we're going to give you guys access to buying the online pass, and they give us all the games retro. Because like we do admit, some of these retro games are harder to find and harder to use now because some of that our hardware is outdated, so it's harder to fix. With Nintendo, with the Nintendo Switch, they got the SNES on there, the Genesis on there, the Game Boy Advance for us to play on the newer hardware while still keeping the classic format. So like that's what I feel like is a good way of doing it. But like in this, it's like like some people just don't like playing the new like games are $70. That's $80 pretty much with tax.
Man,
it's $100 to play a game now. Like I'm sorry, that's too much, man. That's too much.
I was back in the day where I could save my allowance, which was $10 a week, and get a game every month because it was $40 plus tax. So I have to ask my mom and dad again, can I get $5? I had 40. And it was plus tax, so that was about it. So yeah, I know what you're talking about there. And then also with all the other stuff going on in the gaming space today too, they're always, big game comes out, and then what happens? It's a massive layoff. So I'm like, you got that going on, and then now the developers, they're just trying to be like you talked about villain. They trying to be that next villain out there. I mean, it only takes much for gamers or gaming community to dislike the developer. We've seen it in so many games, from Call of Duty to Activision in so many ways, to EA in so many ways. So they're putting another notch on where gamers are going to be like, Microsoft really, or Nintendo really?
It's frustrating, man. It's crazy because I just think about the whole fact that I mean interject, but like also you gotta have an internet connection to play games now. Yes. They can literally give you half of a game and be like, okay, we can update it within 3 months, and then like I got a PS2 game right here in front of me.
Redo the game, right?
I got like 2 PS2s game right here in front of me. I can pull it up. You can put this in and play it. That game, you gotta wait an hour for it to update to get the bytes and everything added to it before you even play. And then even then, they still gotta add more stuff in the future because they can literally just put in games like half done and just update it later.
Yeah,
it's just frustrating.
That's what I tell. Oh, go John, you got it.
Go, keep going. I think you're about to.
No, I was gonna say that's what I tell my players that I've coached. I said, hey, back in the day, I could play a game, and the only bad thing about it is if I came off the system, I had to go back and redo what I just did because there was no save. I'm like, but my game is on there. Some games even got to the point where you could save on the game and then come right back into it. And there was no updates. It was the same thing, same meta of the game was there, and having these big patches that sometimes the patches to me, it's like, oh, we didn't finish the game, but let's patch it up while the game is being released. I was like, that's a lazy way of developers saying, hey, we got Call of Duty out, but it's gonna continue to get patched up to get fixed things along the way when it shouldn't be doing that. Like you say, when you paying $80 for the game already.
I'm paying $100. This game better be complete. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yes.
I'm sorry.
Hey, bro, I'm 100% with you on that one, and I'm pretty sure there's people in the chat because everybody's in this chat, myself and John. We all three of us play video games, so definitely know what you hitting on there. And so when I read this article in the chat, Keto that's in the chat right now, he helps us with our news reads and stuff, and he found this one. I was reading, I was like, oh, this one's gonna be a hot one. This one because I was just like, for my mom and dad. I remember my dad was like, because I had good grades. The rule was if I have good grades, I could get a game. And I was having A's and B's, and after a while, I could hear my dad was like, dang, this boy breaking me. And I was like,
my pockets, man.
He's like, babe, this boy hitting me in my pockets. He's like, I love that he's smart, but these games are $50, and that was $40 back then. This was in the mid '80s, so I can't imagine now a parent, having their kid or son or daughter, whoever, that's earning it, but still, it's like now, like you said, $80 plus tax, $90 because you get the Ultimate Edition or whatever. It takes you over a C note. Well over, or you get these statues that are behind me that come with the game,
the collector's edition. You're gonna spend the $200 minimum for that one.
Right, you get sucked into collector's editions. I'm looking at all the sucked in stuff on my shelf right here to my left. from Last of Us to Transformers, God of War. What else? Assassin's Creed. So I trust me, I understand. But I'm an adult, but still, it's like, woo.
And
I was
Amon,
like,
I think it
I'm
gets
gonna have
back
to
to
explain this to my wife when I get home.
I think it gets back to Amon, what you always say is, and just it's becoming less and less available, but just getting the physical copy of a game. Sometimes, I mean, that used to be how you didn't. Now you have to pay a monthly fee, like you were talking about.
Oh my
on
God.
Nintendo
Yeah, the
Switch.
Game
So,
Pass or whatever.
yeah, now you got to pay a monthly fee. When back in the day, you'd make your purchase and we were done, and I had it. Now I can play it whenever I want.
PlayStation didn't have PlayStation Plus on PS3. Y'all remember that? It didn't add it till PS4. You can play online games for free on PlayStation 3, and then PS4 they added PlayStation Plus. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I remember that because I had a couple nephews, and they always stuck with PlayStation because of that reason. They were saving money because Xbox Game Pass came out, and then that's when the price wall came in. It was like $50 a year, but
Man.
still, my nephews were on play. I said, y'all need to switch over. I want to play more with y'all. They was like, no, Unc.
I ain't doing. I ain't paying that money.
We
I
saving
ain't getting my
money,
bucks.
Uncle. Yeah, we saving money over here, partner. Just I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna go get a PlayStation 3, and try to play with it more. But yeah, it's something that the developers they're gonna get a little pushback on this one. They're gonna hear it from the gamers. That's who we are. We gonna definitely let them know what's cracking on with that one. So interesting one there. Let's keep an eye on that one, John. And I know Tinto, you're gonna keep an eye on that too, as well. All right, go to the next one here. My read here now. Oh, I meant to, I just shouldn't. I should have hit the other button, but I didn't. But here we go. We're popping in and out. All right, Activision banned thousands, and no surprise. I'll say this. I'm not surprised. Thousands of Black Ops ranked players. By some say it's not enough, and I'm like, where we haven't seen this before. All right. So the rank model has a cheater problem, and some Activision is not doing enough to fix the situation. And I was like, didn't this happen about 2 or 3 Black Ops or 2 or 3 Call of Duties ago, when there were hackers that were having was it hacks where you could see through the walls of Warzone and you could see through the multiplayer stages and also aimbots as well. I'm like, oh my God, so obviously some of the hackers out there, they ain't scared of nobody. They're battling against Activision here. So Activision has responded to concerns about Call of Duty Black Ops ranked playlist. So yeah, the playlist, I didn't realize it was a actual, they like made it more of a separate thing because I've been playing Black Ops recently and didn't realize, I thought I was playing ranked, but it like ranked is a whole nother area. Because I was getting ranked up. I'm like 40, 45. I'm almost 55 because 55 is where you prestige and it's like start over with your weapons and all that. But that's not the ranked area. The ranked area is another game mode in the game. So you got to really, pay attention to the menu when you're clicking in. And so I didn't realize that until now. So that then tells me, obviously, with that being said, for any of the pro gamers that are in it now, getting ready for the regular season for CDL, they're making sure, obviously they are up to no scares, but then you have the other crew of folks that's coming in and like, ruin it for everybody right here. So as the article reads, specifically the efforts between undertaking and trying to thwart the cheaters, the company says it has banned thousands of players and is banning more every hour. But some popular streamers have spoken out to voice their ongoing concerns. So in a statement, Activision said AI-powered systems in Call of Duty anti-cheat technology Ricochet, which has been around for like 2 or 3 years now, if not longer, continue to ramp up code optimizations that aim to accelerate enforces so against bad actors. So like I talked about the aim labs or the aim bots going on. So since ranked launched this week, Activision has banned up to 19,000 people on the system, on the internet right now. And Ricochet is doing hourly sweeps to keep cheaters out. So right there, 19,000.
19,000, and it still says some is not enough.
Right.
It's crazy because like the anti-cheating and like those guys is mostly, it's a blessing and curse that crossplay is allowed, because crossplay being allowed means that every platform, Xbox, PC, and PlayStation all gets played together. But unfortunately, because the PC side of things, a lot of them can be hackers and they can also do those type of things where it becomes like, man, how do you mitigate this to give everyone a proper experience? But like the PC players, Well, the PC hackers, I should say, just like they running amok, and it is bad. Like it really is bad. So this is a really tough draw in my
I
opinion.
mean, what else can you do? What can you do besides what they're doing?
You gotta have like a very big anti cheat like wall that they got to get through because like I feel like
huge.
because like I feel like it's not too much of a problem in Valorant. Like if I'm going to compare games real quick, because like Valorant has an anti cheat wall where it mitigates that, so people there it's not. I don't hear too much about cheaters over there.
And they get
But
hit a lot
COD,
on their points and stuff too.
yeah, exactly.
They,
And
yeah.
whereas COD is just they don't have that, so it's just like it is a tough draw for real. It's like it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
It really just ruins the player experience. It's like, man, why can't you just enjoy
does.
these as numbers on a video game at the end of the day? Are you really taking it this serious to hack?
Yeah, because you'll play a game like I played a game over the weekend with Aikido and that's in the chat and a few other friends, and you got guys that have a ratio a KDA of 45-2 or 6,
Jesus.
and so KDA John is kill death assist. So kills, so 45 is a lot of kills, but then they only die 5 times. And then they gave out. And then just like in basketball or basketball, you could give out
What's that line?
assists. An assist on a kill. That means if you shot somebody in the leg and somebody else finished them off, you get that assist there. So they got that going on, and so the number count being super high for a KDA, like 50 and 12, is like, oh my god. Or not. Matter of fact, I remember a couple years ago when all this was getting really going on Vanguard. I swear to
Oh my God.
On Vanguard, it was so bad where I saw somebody ratio was 90 and like 20. They had 90 kills. I'm like, how you get 90 kills?
Ridiculous. What you about to say, John?
Yeah, go ahead, John.
Let's say why does this? I understand people like to win, but like, what's the point if you are so like you're not? How does that? How is it enjoyable to know that you're not doing anything?
Correct.
It's some
Some
people's
people want
mindset,
that.
man.
Why is
Boom,
that enjoyable?
boom. I was
Like-
gonna say the same thing. Yeah.
If I go out on the golf course and I just write down I shot a 72, why did I mean, I'm not going to enjoy it. I didn't do that. Like,
Exactly.
I don't understand. I understand why people cheat because they want to win, but then I don't understand if you're playing video games and I guess you want to win, but you're not even like you're
You're not even getting money.
Right.
You're not even getting
You're
money.
not getting money off of it. This is just enjoyment.
Right.
Yes.
And so for all three of us, we have a conscience. Let's just go there first. We have a conscience. And then also on the other side, it's like, if I'm going to play this good, I'm going to go get paid for it. But you can't do this in a CDL match or in a Valorant world match, Tekken competition. That's not going to happen.
I just don't
because
understand.
they
Why
check
would you
all of
get
those.
excited about
Right.
something you didn't do.
Because
You didn't do that.
there's bad, like the article said, there's bad actors out there. There's bad actors that want to revel in, oh my god, I just dropped 90 kills today.
That's crazy.
I had 50 kills with my hatchet. It's like, what? But I'm glad. The good thing is, I don't know how well that Activision can keep this up. I'm glad they're doing something about it. But like you said, it's not enough. You got the pro gamers saying, when you got 19,000, you can't catch up. Like
That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. So the good thing is Activision is doing something about it. I do like that, but the fact is, like, I think it's like a tidal wave. They can't handle it. They're gonna have to come in and get maybe some government coders to come help them with,
Because this is crazy.
Because this is crazy. Because I remember watching it when I started coaching esports at Lakeland University my first year, and we were practicing. And my kids were telling me, Coach, man, we went online. We did some online matches just to kind of warm up before we did a scrimmage. And one of my players said, Coach, you got to see this. And I'm like, no. Well, I said, yeah, let me check it out. And so I stood behind him. He's showing me how he could see, like, it was the replay of his kill where he could see the guy. He said, I'm standing behind this wall. There is no way this guy should know that I'm right there. And he shot right at that and got a headshot through the wall. And I'm like, wow.
It's ridiculous.
I'm
man.
like, I said, that's unbelievable right there. So I say shout out to Activision. Hopefully they could get this tidal wave slowed down a little bit, because right now it's 19,000 people, on a day where you got to ban accounts. That's crazy. And real quick before I get out of here, I just saw Nade Shot's name in here where he was probably mentioning. So popular streamer Nashot says responded to the statement saying it's complete propaganda from his vantage point. So let me see. Activision has always said the fight against cheaters is an ongoing battle and the one that may never be solved completely. So that was his. So Nashot commented on that, saying that it's saying it's complete propaganda and from his vantage point. So that's interesting. From a guy who plays the game professionally, to say that. So I don't know if that's kind of going against Activision or going for their cause or what have you. But to each his own. He got his rights to support and we see where this game go. Another one to keep our eye on here, John. So it's an interesting one right there. Not too happy about that.
See it. It's just that human beings are just. It's like I go about this. Human beings are competitive by nature, So like,
Yes.
you go to a gym, you play a pickup game of basketball.
Yeah.
Now, no money involved. It's just bragging rights at this point. And there's people that really get mad because they get a hard foul. He was out. No, he touched. Y'all arguing, and it's like y'all not playing for nothing, but y'all really into it. And it's one of those things you got to realize. Like, we as human beings are competitive by nature, and it's really bad for some cases because people really get into the moment. Like, you're not playing for anything, and I'll be telling people like, remember that games were created for the enjoyment. Healthy competition is not wrong at all. It's not bad. But it gets to a point though. If you're too competitive, you're forgetting the whole point of the game or the sport that you're playing was for the enjoyment and the fellowship of others, which is the issue I see like with a lot of people. That's just my 2 cents on it though.
No, I feel you. There's well said. Tinto, what's up, John?
I got to run. It was great to meet you. I apologize for having to leave so soon. But,
Yeah, no problem.
Best of luck, and I can't wait to hear you on a Disney film someday.
I appreciate that,
It's
man.
going down. All right, John, man. Have a good rest of your day.
Hey, be safe, John.
See you next week. So we got a couple more segments here. Tinto, you could roll with me. That is awesome.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely staying with you, bro.
Yeah, appreciate you. All right, next thing I got a little fun segment since we got out all that little bit of drama. We're gonna have some fun stuff here. This or that. So Tinto, this segment here is you pick things. So it's Thanksgiving edition. So
Okay.
Potatoes, sweet potatoes, like which one? So here you go. Let me run the audio there if it's gonna work. It's not because I don't hear it. Come on now, this is ridiculous. Anyway, let's get on to it here as the graphics is thinking about if it's gonna work or not here. So this or that.
Also, big shouts to chat. Big shouts to chat, by the way. Hope y'all chilling out there, man.
Yeah, they having a good time. First one on the chat here. We got Thanksgiving is tomorrow, and we want to know simple question here: turkey or ham? Turkey or ham?
I let go of pork, man. So it's gonna have to be turkey for me, man. Don't get me wrong. I let go of pork. I eat it in moderation, though.
Right.
I do like it's like very less proportionate, but I will have to go turkey in this case.
Gotcha. Me too. I'm turkey as well. I'm the same way. I'm moderate with my pork or my oink, bacon here and there as a treat on the weekends.
Yeah. Like a bacon cheeseburger, I'll do that. That. That's about it.
Yeah, I'll do that. A keto that's in the chat, he throws up turkey as well. All right,
Big
next
Rock,
one.
I see you.
Yep, next one on the list here. It's another yummy one. Here we go. Mashed potatoes or sweet potato casserole. Yum in my tongue.
It depends because for mashed, it depends. It depends how the sweet potato casserole made for me.
Oh, so what's that made?
Cause some people put marshmallows on top of their stuff, They're like, and that's a lot of sugar for me. I'm just like,
Okay, so
I don't want to do that to myself.
Gotcha.
So it all depends. So I'm gonna take the safe bet of mashed potatoes.
Gotcha. Yeah, you can't do that with the white potatoes and put marshmallows on them. And
Yeah, no, that's not gonna work.
Sweet potatoes, it does come out a little bit different, but yeah, it is a lot sweeter in that processed sugar of the marshmallows on there. I say my wife doesn't make them with the marshmallows, and so I'm her sweet potatoes all day. She puts some pecans in there too.
Oh, that sounds good. That sounds
yes,
perfect.
so good.
That sounds perfect.
So in the chat, what's the chat talking about right here?
He said this one hard. Mashed potatoes with the gravy. I respect that.
Yeah, we did have some turkey people up in here too. Turkey there. They said, "What the hell is a casserole?" I love that one. Was that pre-rock 32? He said, "What the hell is a casserole?" Oh, that's a good question. I mean, it's like if you heard of a quiche, and it's got different ingredients, and it's almost like a like a thick gravy almost. I'll say that, a thick gravy. You got mashed potatoes and gravy always slaps for a keto there.
That's
And
an
then,
yeah, it
then
does. That's a classic.
pre rock says, but this is still a hard one. LOL. All right, next one on the list here. It's another one. Okay, this one's a new one to me because I got hit with this last year. I didn't know this was a thing. I guess because I'm old. I'm 47, just so you know. So I'll be your uncle, Tinto. So here we go. So family gathering or friend. I was like, what's a friendsgiving?
Oh yeah,
I was like,
Friendsgiving. Yeah, Friendsgiving is basically like all the friends you made, along the way and whatnot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, because it
Great
was my
time.
first time it happened. So my neighbor that just moved in, we just moved down here to Texas last year. But right before we moved, the year before, in 2022, excuse me, new neighbor, new across the street, invited us over. Hey, Mom, we're doing a Friendsgiving. And at the time, I had no clue. I was like, all right, I'm going to check this thing out. And got in there. But that was, it was a good experience. Good time, good food, drinks, and everything. It was like you said, Tinto, it was like, oh, I was like, oh. I didn't know about this. I didn't know that was a thing. So I was like, okay.
I had my first Friendsgiving. It was when I used to work at Target. All my Target coworkers, because we were all around. We all went to pretty much the same college, and we was all around the same age. So it was actually really cool when we did that. I would still go with just Thanksgiving whole family gathering overall though.
That's right.
Friendsgiving is a great time. It truthfully is. But like Akito said in the chat, it's like that mom's and grandma cooking. Everybody else cooking don't be bad, but family, your mama and grandma cooking, bro, you can't beat that. So it's gonna have to be family gather for me.
Yeah, we got pre rock 32 says Friendsgiving. Yeah, I'm family gathering because my wife is now taken over. My mom passed away some years ago, so
Rest in peace.
Thank you. But when my mom was, oh my God, she'd do her peach cobbler. We had
Oh
that.
my God, don't give me
I was so
peach cobbler, man.
full. Yeah, I try not to be so full where I can't get to the peach cobbler, but I gotta pace myself.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. A couple more left here in the this and that of Thanksgiving. And of course, this happens on Thanksgiving. Tomorrow, right after you're done eating, you're gonna sit down. You're gonna be either watching football. Is the Macy's Day Parade happening this year? I thought I heard something that it might not.
I don't even know. I'll let you know right now. There's still gonna be football because I ain't watching no parade. I ain't gonna watch no hot air balloons go past. I'm gonna look down on YouTube in a second. I can see that in 30 seconds. Little quick follow. That's a nice little Sonic statue. Watch the football game.
Yeah, I'm watching football. Matter of fact, I might be streaming Madden on top of that. I'm gonna be watching Thursday night football and Madden because the Packers are playing the Dolphins tomorrow night, and then the Vikings and the Bears are playing in the morning, or the Lions. I'm sorry, the Bears are playing the Lions, and the Lions are rolling right now.
Not like that's. I ain't gonna lie. I'll be very surprised the Bears able to take out the Lions right now. Lions is actually my favorite team right now. To like just my favorite.
Even though being from Chicago.
Yeah. We had a rough couple seasons. We had a couple.
Yeah.
We had a rough couple seasons, man. But I've always had a soft spot for the. I don't watch football too often, but I've always had a soft spot for the Lions. I don't know. That team has always just been really good for me to watch, and I'm really glad they're having a good season this year.
Yeah, they're doing it. I think all roads go through for the NFC go through Detroit right now. It's gonna be interesting come the end of the year. So yeah, watching football and maybe even streaming it for me, taking it to a whole nother level. Is my pick on that.
Inception out here.
Oh my God! Yeah, is that the top spinning? Did it stop spinning? I wasn't sure. Remember? You remember at the end of that movie?
Exactly. No, I need to rewatch the movie. Honestly,
I got like
with the older mindset I have now, I need to rewatch the movie.
Facts. That was a great movie. Leonardo DiCaprio put his foot in it. So, and Christopher Nolan. Yes, indeed. Batman on top of that. All right, next one on the list. We got Black Friday shopping or staying at home. This is another easy one. This is a softball for me, anyway. Or what's that? I see your face, Tito. Is that?
So as I told you, I worked at Target.
Yeah,
so
you did say Target.
I served 3 tours of Black Friday.
So I'm about to say you probably had some night. So you got some war stories.
I'm staying home. I've had 3 tours of Black Friday. I'm good. I'm good.
Man, I started staying at home. I think in 2000. I say probably 25 years. 2000. Once we got internet, I was like, oh, I could go online and buy my gifts and still get a Black Friday discount.
Exactly.
So why should I go and try to get in a car accident in the parking lot, get in the line and people stepping on my Jordans? No, you know what? I'm going to sit back, go on my PC, go on my laptop so I can sit in the living room and watch college football and then buy everything for everybody.
And drinking hot cocoa and all, I'll be fine. Feet rubbed together, I'm straight. I don't need it. Staying home.
Staying at home, not getting up. I remember my dad one year. He came home. It was one Christmas, and I opened my gift. They got me the Optimus Prime when I was a kid.
Oh, okay, that's
And
nice.
so I got the shirt on, everything. And my dad said, "Boy, yeah, you better like that thing." I said, "What happened, Dad?" I said, "No, I love it." He said, "Man, I had to He said, I had to run down the aisle. My dad had a bad knee too. He said I had to run
Oh,
down the
man.
aisle and damn near tackle somebody out of the last Transformer box." I was like, Optimus Prime.
That's
box.
love right there.
I was like, "For real?" He's like, "Boy, it was like being on the football." My dad played a little football when he was in college. Or he played football when he was in college. He said, "It feels like I was on the football field again." I said, "Dang, it's like
That's love
that
right there,
in Toys
man.
R Us." I was like, "Oh man, what's we got here?" Keto, what did he say here? He said, "I work Black Friday in an instant. I did 3 or 4 tours at Best Buy working." Yes, you people lose their minds. People lose
They
it a
do.
little bit. They lose
And
their mind.
entitled too.
Oh my god, they like so no. What's the word? Pride. The pride just goes
No.
out the window. I'm
Absolutely.
like, you really gonna sit here and argue and fight over a doll? Like, oh, I seen stuff on social media. People post stuff. I'm like, oh, they going ham right there. I'm like, oh, they doing way too much. There are a couple more here in this or that. Next one is let me see. Here we go. Oh, what we got? Are we back to the food again? Homemade meal or at the restaurant feast? Because there's a grocery store down here in Texas, Tinto and chat, that HEB, they will make a full meal and you could go pick it up. Turkey, dressing, all the sides, whatever you
That's
want.
beautiful.
I was like,
Some people don't got time. So 'cause
Yeah.
the reason I say restaurant feast, because I be telling people don't have time to cook all the time because people got work and they got jobs, they got to take care of kids.
Facts. That's fact.
And I ain't gonna lie to you, Boston Market has came in clutch for me a couple times. I can't lie to you at all. Boston Market definitely did, but
I
it's still
remember-
gonna be homemade meal for me. Still gonna be
me too.
homemade meal.
Yeah, I'm homemade meal too. You know, like I said, my wife's cooking is number one. She is. We need to start. We need to. I would say one. You know, I get too overexcited. Like, hey, we need to put this in the restaurant. No, we don't. You know, I guess.
Oh no, she could just do a Twitch. Hey, make her start streaming on Twitch. Her cooking. There you go.
I told her that. I said I got the
Go ahead.
cameras. We could get her set up in the kitchen now. We got a nice
Yep.
open. We got an open kitchen layout.
Get
so
a
I
little
could put-
mic on the shirt. Oh, she be straight.
Yeah, mic on the shirt, camera here, camera there. Boom. You know, helping people out, helping the next gen out, and cooking at home, getting it right. All right, a couple more left here. We're back at the dinner table here with some of the snacks here, and the last one. Boom. Cranberry sauce, fresh or canned? I got
I'ma do-
fresh.
You got fresh. I'm gonna do canned. I'm not even a big fan of cranberry sauce. Actually, no. I'm not a big fan of cranberry sauce, and I have had fresh or canned. I prefer canned because it's just simple and easy.
Right.
I shouldn't be doing that process stuff though, so I should have switched over to fresh for real. But yeah,
Right.
it'll be canned for me because it's just simpler for me.
Yeah.
Because not everybody can do it fresh. That's the only thing about it. That's
Yeah,
why I'm like,
I can see.
canned, you know, you're gonna get the same 7 out of 10 value. Fresh, it can be a 9 out of 10, or it could be a 6 out of 10, or a 5. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We got a keto or no pre-rock there too. Says love canned cranberry. I'm a fresh one, but my wife, I saw her do all the
Yeah,
things.
hey, your wife can cook. That's
She could
God
do it.
bless.
Yes,
God bless,
indeed.
man.
Yes, indeed. We got a keto. He goes neither. He said they are pretty messy. Emo. But he said, but he made it.
But can.
But can. All right, last one on the list. And now this one reminds me of one of my college football teammates. He would do extraordinary things with ketchup on everything. I'm like, bro, you can't put ketchup on that. No, yes, I can. I'm like, bro, so this next one here, this is what some people do in your house. Gravy on everything or just on the turkey. I do just on the turkey.
I can't lie to you. Gravy on the like not the greens, but string beans, not bad. Mashed potatoes, not bad. Turkey, not bad. Sometimes on the mac and cheese, I can't even cap to you. It won't be that bad. I'm not
mac
gonna
and
lie to you. I've done it before. It's not terrible, especially if the gravy done right. So I would say
Really?
just turkey, because I won't put gravy on everything.
Yeah.
But it's not bad, bro. It's actually not bad. Yeah, be open to the options, pre-rock. You talking about you gotta go. Be open to it, bro. You can't
Right.
knock it until you try it.
Oh man, like, cause my boy, one of my teammates for real, he put ketchup on everything.
That's crazy.
Burgers, okay, burger, French fries, cool. What was it? It was he did macaroni. He did, and I was like, "Are you
Ketchup
serious?"
on macaroni?
I'm like, "You put it on the
That's
mac and cheese?"
That's insane right
I
there.
was like,
Hold up.
a steak? You putting it on a steak? Like, bro, in some states they might knock you out if you put
Oh
anything
yeah,
on a steak.
you might get put out for that one, bro. Like, nah,
You get excused out of the restaurant. Don't you put that ketchup on that steak? What's wrong with you,
bro. You might get fault right then and there.
What?
Man.
So that's the end of this or that. So we got one more segment here is our game releases, and then actually two, but it'll be fast. Game releases here. So John's game.
I'm vibing.
So John's game, I got his information on it, so I think I'll run that too quick as well. So let me run. Let me see. I'm gonna try one more time with the audio. And nope. All right, right. So game releases, y'all. We have intro things, but the first one up here. Let me get it set up here. It's a fun game called Snow Bros Wonderland. Snow Bros. It is out on everything, all platforms, including PC here. Let me hit the play button there. So we got Snow Brothers Wonderworld, all platforms. Nick and Tom, the twin brothers here. Make sure the volume is low. There you go. The twin brothers with a heart of cold. You like that? The heart of cold?
The heart of cold.
Make their return in the upcoming game, Snow Brothers Wonderland. Watch the latest Snow Brothers trailer, what we're doing right now. Gameplay with enemies and much, much more. Wonderland will be available on the Nintendo Switch. I wonder what I thought Nintendo was bringing out a new console this year. Is it?
I think it said they said next year they might bring a new console. I remember it.
They pushed it. Okay, so Snow Brothers Wonderland has the brothers defending the Snowland from the great king of evil, armed with an endless supply of ice pellets. You can turn monsters into snowballs, which can be kicked to destroy a whole horde of enemies. Chain your attacks to defeat several bad guys at once. Use your skill to take down massive characters here in Snow Bros Wonderland. Snowball fight, y'all. Check it out. Got little multi-levels there. Little combinations you could put with the snowball. I didn't know you could do so much with a snowball right now.
Honestly, people creative skill when it comes to like normal things in video games is never shocking because it's like you can infinitely grow upon like some of the most simplest concepts. Hence Tekken, like Tekken, they grow upon like the most simple concept. The game is still the same at its core, but to add a little niche features here and there.
Exactly. And once you get the rhythm down, you get the meta, as we say, the meta. You get that part down, and you got some fun with it. So that is Snow Brothers right there for the NES, PlayStation, and Xbox. Game of the week here. So share this tab. Let me bust it up. This is Glitch Hero, produced there by, as you saw, Atrax. It's a fatal error. Trapped Ada's dad or father inside the cold land. As a young Ada wield the virtually mighty hammer.exe and you debug the corrupt virtual world while learning basic coding concept in an irrelevant, fun, and thrilling action puzzle adventure. So I like this. You get a little gaming and a little education. Learning. I
like that.
Something. Me too.
So you get to learn how to code and you get to learn how to move at the same time. That's actually pretty cool. Actually, yeah, I like that.
I like that a lot. I like how these developers sometimes they actually like we are want to help people. They want to help the kids playing the game, not just have them go there play a game where I'll say not getting nothing out of it, because when you play video games, you're getting something out of it. You're learning something, but now you're really learning something where it's actually a job skill later on in life. That if you realize, like, oh man, I remember I was playing that game back when I was like 8. And it taught me this, and I'm like, oh. So that's one thing I like about some games. I remember playing a game by the name of Gyromite with my dad on Nintendo on the Nintendo Entertainment System, and it was like that's where I learned like Nintendo. They were the first creators of
help! Somebody help!
Stuff. You had Rob the Robot as from Smash, right? and Rob the Robot will pick up the spindle and put it on the other, like the weight thing, and that'll open the doors on the video game. So I'm like, oh. And so that's what got me interested in computers in the first place. Because I'm like, man, you having the robot that's not even like doesn't have no chips in it. This is back in the 80s. Didn't have no computer chips in it other than the fact that it would move and it could put down one thing to the other. I'm like, how did you do that? You know. So I like games like this that like take it beyond just the pushing of the buttons, doing something different. And Nintendo's always good for that. And all the games they put out from the Wii or the systems, like the Wii, things like that. The Xbox matched that up with the Kinect. So I'm hats off for them to pushing the envelope a little further down the line.
I actually like that.
Yo, check out Google Gyro Mike Nintendo on NES, 1985.
I think they recently gave us that to the on the Nintendo Switch for, like, you know, I told you, like, well, as you know, they got the games they give back to you through the online pass. I feel like they gave us that one.
Gotcha. All right, here. So I had my daughter come in. We had a good time last night, so we kind of celebrated Thanksgiving early. So I didn't get a chance to. What I usually do next here at Tinto is I recap a show that we've been watching. And so I've been watching Legend of Warcraft episode. I was episode 6 today, but I didn't get to watch it. That's okay. But I do have my gamers tip of the week here for out there, for all the gamers here. Give them a little bit of knowledge. Got to throw it back at them. You know what I'm talking about here. Make sure if this is the right tab here. So the gamers tip of the week is network with other players. Something I did I've learned to do very well. You know, that's how we met. At the gaming event out in Bentonville, Arkansas, the Rewired Facebook event. You know, so the tip is building relationships in the gaming community can open doors to new opportunities, like being on a team, maybe getting a sponsorship, or even mentorship along the way right there. And so I took that, like, I learned probably back in I say my rookie year playing in NFL, you know, when I started going to like events like Super Bowl and you know, big events like that where you're around GMs, you're around NFL scouts that might be GMs. You know, you kind of just go. My agent took me around and said, hey, you know, shake hands, smile, tell them who you are. You know, I'm a running back from Nebraska. You know, I'm a junior. I'm coming out early. You know, I want to be on the team. You know, I do this, that, and the other. Or, hi, my name is Amon Green. How you doing? You know, just doing that reach
just
out.
show your name. Yeah,
show my name. And so that networking started then. The only funny thing about that moment, it was Super Bowl in San Diego where the Packers played against the Broncos, and I ended up getting drafted to Seattle. But then, obviously, 2 years later, I became a Packer. But my face hurt so bad because I was smiling all night long, and like, cause like, you know, you're shaking hands, you're like, hey, how you doing? By the end of the night, I was like, my face feels like it's about to fall off.
Oh my God! Using every facial muscle.
Right, I played football all these years. I played basketball, baseball too, lifted weights, and like my face hurt. I was like, I never had my face hurt like that. So, with building that, like it says in there, tip, building the relationships. You know, and you talked about, you two and I both share something. I had that social anxiety where when I was in high school, people like, Amon, for real, like at my high school, my teen year reunion, I had a couple of girls that one girl played basketball. Her name was Latoya. And they're like, Amon, we thought you were mute in high school. We didn't think you talked at all. And like, man, we thought you didn't have a tongue, you know, where you couldn't talk because you never talked to us. And I'm like, no, I was shy. I couldn't talk to no girls at all. Especially, I was like, if I was going to talk, I was like, nah, I was going to have my friends talk to y'all if I was going to be. I said, so.
Understood.
So I was like, I had to get out of that, you know, but especially out of football. I was like, if I'm going to, you know, go into my next career, if it's going to be coaching, commentating, whatever, that's where I'm at. I got to get out of that little bit. I got to get out a little bit, you know, and that little bit is now what I'm doing. I got this podcast and things of that nature. So when you find yourself there, I mean, I know for me, this is what I've done. I was like, you know what, if I love this, it's like I love football and baseball and basketball. I got to love this the same. So I got to get out of that little, don't worry, you know, about them hearing my voice. Don't worry about messing up when I talk. So that's what got me to like get to this level. What was something you did for yourself, Tinto, to get you past that?
Yeah, I was about to say, build upon that. I still go back to my high school, Proviso West. I talk to the students about life at the high school. to get used to that public speaking as well. So like for me to get past that is one of the big things I did was, of course, you got to put yourself in the moment. You got to be uncomfortable in order to grow. That's the biggest thing people do. If you always comfortable, you always like, oh, I'm chilling. No, that's not going to, you need to put yourself in a position because that uncomfortable feeling that you get is the places that you need to grow in, and people need to do that. So public speaking, I told you, was one of my kind of like weak suits, but then as I started commentating, it became much easier. Now I can confidently say I can speak in front of a crowd of people with little to no preparation now. I can definitely say that. And I still go back to my high school every year to talk to students about, hey, I'm one of the students I went here, I got into commentary, I commentate around the globe now. Things that I did to get there, I got my college degree. I went to dabble with trades a little bit. It's those type of things. And as like Keto said, like you'll never know if you run into people again. Like you can meet a mutual friend. Like meeting someone can be as little as you see him at a party, you see him at an event, like, hey, my name's Sento, I do voiceover work and all this, and the third. Oh, thank you, that's nice to meet you, whatnot. And they get down your socials, they remember your social. And then all of a sudden they hit you up like, yo, you do voiceovers, you said, right? Like, yeah, I remember you said that at the party. I got a person who's doing an audio book. They really need a voiceover right now, and you said that. Can you help out? The little thing about you shaking your hand and just say what you do, it can matter so much to a person that's really remember. Like, oh wait, I got somebody that can probably help you actually. So yeah, that's as simple as that.
Exactly. So practice that. So practice. Join online forums. Attend gaming conventions, tournaments, like we've already talked about here. And engage with your in-game community respectfully and respectfully and professionally. So there's Discord, right? Everybody should, if you're a gamer,
you should have Discord.
You should have 100%.
100%. You should have a Discord.
Yep. And then you got your Xbox Live account where you could build friends there. You have your PlayStation account where you could build friends there.
And that can be linked to Discord.
Exactly. And that was linked to PlayStation and Xbox knew what the hell they were doing when they said, you know what, we're going to do an update where Discord going to be on Xbox and the PlayStation. And I'm like, not a genius, but about time. It took them way too long to do that because I'm like, it was on PC. Why is it not on a console? So that right there gets people going. And like for the ones that, are really having a tough time, just take baby steps. Take baby steps. Go into the chat, virtually first, and just say, talk, meet people there. And then the in-person stuff then comes later. Just, sometimes people can't do it all at once. Take it a little bit at a time, meet people online, and then eventually, you know what, you talked enough online, you know what, we're going to, let's go to Evo in Vegas, or let's meet out in California for, this con there, or in Orlando. All over the country, there's a con 52 weekends a year. And so,
literally.
I learned that, hey man, my commitment where you said, look, like one of your friends said, oh yeah, I'm coming, your boy, I think it was you said cousin or uncle.
Yeah, he said he's gonna start coming to Evo.
So I did the same thing with Comic-Con San Diego. When I went there for the first time with a friend in 2009, I said to my friend and myself, I said, bro, I am gonna be here every year for the rest of my life. I was like, oh my God. I was seeing the comic books, Marvel and DC, but then I saw the whole crew. I met the whole cast of Heroes. Remember when Heroes was out?
Oh yeah.
In 2009, 2008, I met the whole cast. I met Sylar. I met all the villains. I met the heroes too. And then I met the cast of True Blood that was on HBO at that time. I met Suki. I met her friend and the boyfriend and all that. Lafayette, that was her friend. I met him. Okay. Great actor who passed away. I was just like, oh yeah, I'm here, and I do. I got my. Matter of fact, this past weekend, I think I got it this weekend. I think they're doing the online lines for your Comic-Con tickets. Make sure you get on there and get on the list. Make sure you get your tickets. So yeah, it's just something that, I was like, I got to do this. And like you said, I love what you said about how your friend or your cousin, your family member commented like, man, this is a whole new world. Yes. And then how he said, man, y'all just chilling, having a good time, no judgment. And it's that I tell people, I say, when you go out to Comic-Con, you're a grown ass person and you're in a anime costume as a Pokemon character or Dragon Ball Z.
That's wonderful. And it's a great time.
Nobody is judging. Everybody's like, hey man, that's a
that's a nice costume.
That's a nice ass costume. Like, bro, that's what you're saying the whole time.
Can we get a picture? Like, it's amazing.
Yes. I took so many pictures with other Batman because I dressed up as Batman the first time. And then I took pictures with other Batman. Like, man, that Batman's dope. But let's go. You know, let's do a selfie, or here, my guy, can you take this picture for us, please? Where it's like, man, I'm like, oh. And so yeah, it just you gotta grow out there. This space that we're in, Tinto and chat, a lot of people are still learning about it. They're gonna find out real quick. This is they don't realize this actually is the cool kid place to be.
Yes, it is.
So
and as Akito said in the chat, he was like, "Yeah, cons are super friendly places to be. Like, it's everyone is like, you rarely run into someone that's actually like an active asshole in an event like that. You actually gonna have like most people are like really cool, really genuine. Even most of the celebs are like, oh yeah, let's have a quick talk. Like, if they got the time, they'll make the time for us to get someplace to be. They're really gonna be cool.
They was. I mean, when I met that cast, when I met Siler, we sat there, we had a 5-minute conversation. You know, hey man, what else are you in? He asked me like what I'm into. I'm like, oh, I'm a Batman guy. I watched this, but I love your show. You know, 'cause it was a comic book-esque show, but we hadn't seen that on national, regular, like broadcasting television on NBC prime time. We haven't seen that, and so it was really cool. And he's like, man, he's like, and he found out that I played football. He's like, dude, you do this and football? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm a big kid. You know, he's like, that's what I. This is me. This is what I do. They're like, man, you live, having fun. I'm like, you damn right. I'm gonna have some fun. So, man, we're at the end of the show, man. You know, that is the show, man. I appreciate you, Tinto.
I appreciate you having me on.
Oh man, so from the time we met, I was like, oh, I said he's about this life. I said I get it. He takes it serious. He's professional. I love it because when I see people that take their job seriously, but then also have fun at the same time, they understand the whole spectrum of what they do. Because when you could be serious and then have fun, that means you know everything you need to do at the right time. You know, okay, this is the time I need to be professional, boom, 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 and this is the time. You know what? I'm gonna be that dude that I'm your partner in your classroom when you probably shouldn't be talking to, so we don't get in trouble in class. We're passing notes between each other, having a good time.
Yeah.
You know, that friend in class. I had a friend like that. I was like, hey man, don't get me caught up.
No, man, you got people like your teacher, like, yeah, y'all got to sit on the opposite ends of the classroom.
Yeah, I had friends like that in elementary school. The teacher, Miss Parker, was like, you sit over there and you sit over there. Y'all together y'all get in trouble. I was like,
out of there.
And so that's how my man is here, Tinto, meeting him from the first time.
Appreciate
it was a good
that.
Time. So, and he
likewise, man. Likewise.
Thank you, and welcome me into Tapper Never Sleeps family as well. So I'm super excited about that. So guys, I've been for some of you actually jumped in that chat that night I streamed. I shoutcasted with Tinto and a few other people, and it's coming soon. We got more stuff coming. Working with Tapper Never Sleeps, and I know Tinto, you got good stuff coming. It's good. You get a chance to kind of recharge your battery.
Yeah, there's been a lot of traveling, man.
Yep, got the
I thought I was done, and then they hit me up for Cali. I was like, oh man, I thought I was done.
Yeah, but no, that's because you're doing your job. You know, you're doing your job. So again, I appreciate you coming in. Thank you for being on the show and chat to say bye. And this is Mind Green's Gamers Lounge, and we about to roll out this piece, man. Tinto,
y'all stay blessed. Enjoy y'all Thanksgiving, man. Please do enjoy that family. Hug those family members by all means. Please hug them.
All day, every day. All right, there we go. Average Historian, great having you. All right, so everybody have a great rest of your weekend, great holiday for Thanksgiving. If you're traveling, be safe. If you're driving, again, be safe. And then see you guys next week here on the Mind Green's Gamer Lounge. Same bat channel, same bat time. You gotta always throw that in there. Have a good rest of your week, guys. Peace.